Elena is one of the key figures shaping the wine culture in Kyrgyzstan. She is a co-owner of the vintage wine restaurant chain, a CEO of iWine, the first sommelier school in the country. And together with her family, she also runs Enoteka, import company. Okay, so now let's move on to our key learning objectives for today. First of all, we're going to understand the evolution of wine culture and consumer awareness in Kyrgyzstan. Second, we are going to learn about the import and the distribution landscape. And third, we are going to identify current trends, gaps, and opportunities for the Italian producers in this market. So let's dive in. Welcome to Asia Wine Market Almaty Special Edition with me, your host, Roza. In this special series, we're exploring the growing wine culture of Kazakhstan, with Almaty at the heart of it all. Each episode will meet with Italian wine professionals, importers, somms, and producers who are shaping the future of wine in Central Asia. Whether you're a winery looking to expand into new markets or a local expert curious about the market dynamics, you are in the right place. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Asia Wine Market Almaty Special Edition. And today we have a very special guest from Kyrgyzstan, Elena Shtepa. Elena is one of the key figures shaping the wine culture in Kyrgyzstan. She is a co-owner of the vintage wine restaurant chain. They currently have 4 venues, and a CEO of iWine, the first sommelier school in the country. And together with her family, she also runs Enoteka, import company. And the inspiration to create this company and also the name came after her journey through Italy. So welcome, Elena. We are very happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. And yes, that's true. Everything came from Italy. So I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm quite excited to start our podcast.
I think that's a destiny. Inspiration came from Italy, and you're being interviewed for the Italian Wine Podcast.
Yes, it's a great project.
Thanks a lot. Let's start from the very beginning. How did your journey into the world of wine began, and what motivated you to start doing that?
How you already said, maybe it's really destiny because connection to wine started from my childhood because my father, he is a winemaker, my grandfather, he is winemaker, but it's not about production. I mean, it's more like hobby, but I spent my childhood with all these. We were together with my friends, we're harvesting, for example. So I have kind of trauma because of this, and I think I will never be in a wine production, I think. So I enjoy mostly the result of all of this, and I sell wine, and it started more professionally, I think closer to my 20s, when my brother, he went to Italy with his wife, and he was so inspired by wine culture, by attitude of Italian people to wine. He was so inspired, and he brought this passion to Kyrgyzstan. Of course, I took his passion. Actually, at first time, he kind of asked me to help a bit in his business, and I gave myself 2 years to look if it fits me. And of course, now I'm going deeper and deeper to this culture. I'm fully into this, and I want to grow. I want to grow culture in my country. I want to show to all of the world that Kyrgyzstan exists. In Italy, people don't understand when I say Kyrgyzstan because they usually think that it's Kurdistan, but it's not Kurdistan. Kyrgyzstan is in Central Asia, and the pronunciation in Italian is like Kyrgyzstan, something like this. So going back to my thought, I got this passion from my brother, and wine culture is very wide and it's very interesting and deep. And I want to show to people in my country and also people abroad that Kyrgyzstan exists. Kyrgyzstan can, because we have all the resources to make our own wine production. And I'm very inspired by our neighbors, Kazakhstan, that they already have Arba wine. That's cool. But now in Kyrgyzstan, we are at the first step, making wider the wine culture in our market.
I must say that I think it's really important for our countries, for neighboring countries, to work together, because if one of us does great, another country will do great as well. Because it's easier when you work together, not just trying to show who's doing better or who's developing faster at this matter, because the wine culture in our countries is kind of not in our blood. Meat is in our blood, I think, but not wine. So that is why we have to work together on that matter. That is very important.
Yes, sure. I agree.
And here I must say, for our listeners on Instagram, if you just check Vintage Bishkek, the wine venues that Elena has, you're gonna see how cool they arranged everything and also what kind of activities they do to promote wines and to interact with their consumers. I really think you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's a great job because, in our not wine drinking countries, there are a lot of stereotypes that wine is difficult, that wine is something luxurious, that wine is not for me, I will not understand. So we are trying to make through our promotion to show that wine is friendly, wine is interesting, and it is space of a lot of enjoyment, I think. Yes, a lot of enjoyment, and you can have a great dinner, for example, because the main thing, the key thing in the wine is not alcohol but taste. It's very mind breaking among our people when they see that they can have only one glass during one evening, not whole bottle, and you can just enjoy one glass, and that's it.
That's really important to make people understand that wine is not as intimidating as it might seem. I agree with that. Okay, so now let's move on to our key learning objectives for today. So, first of all, we're going to understand the evolution of wine culture and consumer awareness in Kyrgyzstan. Second, we are going to learn about the import and the distribution landscape. We're going to learn about the major players and how international producers, especially Italian ones, can successfully enter the Kyrgyz market. And third, we're going to identify current trends, gaps, and opportunities for the Italian producers in this market. So let's dive in. First of all, I would like you to give us a brief overview of Kyrgyzstan, its population, major cities, and anything else that might be helpful to understand the market context.
So Kyrgyzstan is not a big country in Central Asia, so we are about 7 million people. The main city in wine consumption is capital, of course, it's Bishkek, where focused all the businesses, hotels. We have another big city, for example, Osh or Jalabad, but they are not developed in wine consumption. I think the perspective in the future we have in more touristic places like Karakol in Issyk, but it's still not developed there. We are trying to look our opportunities also in this city. But of course, yes, main city is Bishkek. People here in Kyrgyzstan, they are used to drink more high level alcohol and they were not interested in wine. So when we came to the market 7 years ago, nobody was drinking wine. Nobody knew about wine. I'm not gonna lie, maybe a couple of private cafes brought their own wine through their own import, but it was very few quantities of this. When we came to the market, my brother, he saw the opportunities in Horeca distribution, but all the cafes, all the hotels were like, nobody drinks wine. Why should we buy this? He was like, okay, but some hotels and cafes and Horeca branch, they bought it. And of course, the price was very, very high. My brother decided to open his own shop, wine shop, where he will show people that wine is affordable, where he will show how to taste wine. So first of all, our project started from the shop. And now we grew in this 5 years to chain of 4 restaurants, every day meeting every guest by ourselves. It's not very wide in our country when the owner or the family of the owner hosts people and talk to them. So making this very close connection to our customers, we really made a great job, and we, I think, made wine more trendy here. And now from Horeca, people come to us because we made this demand from people and we grew this culture a bit. It's not so developed like in Almaty now, for example. I think we are quite far still from Almaty development of wine culture, but still.
But you're doing a great job. By the way, I've got a question here. You said that population in Kyrgyzstan is around 7 million people, but what about Bishkek?
It's about 1.5 million people. So all the wine consumption concentrated to only this population.
Okay, got it. So you already told us how it was before and how it is now. Let's talk about consumers. What kind of trends are you seeing in consumer purchasing behavior? What kind of wines are popular among the consumers nowadays?
Nowadays, Prosecco, of course, it's very popular now. Also, thanks to our partners from Italy, they helped us to make a great promotion because 3 years ago, people here were drinking sparkling wines only for New Year's Eve, for some holiday, another maybe birthday or something like this, twice a year. But now we have in our shops, in our restaurants, Prosecco by glasses. So people got used to this and it's very, very popular now. But still, I think we could have more development in this style of wine because in our country we have only 2 labels of Prosecco and that's it. So it's still quite empty in Prosecco. So welcome Prosecco producers to us.
Well, yeah, I hope the consortio and all the producers will hear that there is a huge gap here. And who are those producers, if you can share with us this information?
So our partner is this Kadalsette winery, and from other distributor, I don't know the producer. I can say only about our partner.
Okay. So in your portfolio, you have one producer as for now.
Yeah, in our portfolio we have only one producer, but last year we met in Vinitaly in Almaty another producer, and already I went to visit their winery during my wine tour. I think we can start to work together. Yeah,
What is the name of that producer?
it is Blenda Winery.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we already started talking about your portfolio. How many producers do you work with for your portfolio, and what is the percentage of Italian wines in it? And also, maybe you can share some of the names with us.
So we have in our portfolio about 15 producers. I mean, producers with whom we work directly. Talking about SKU, we have around 300 SKU. 70% of our portfolio, of course, it's Italian wine because our passion started from Italy and we don't have French wines, for example, because we're going to this strict promotion of Italian brands. We work with Cadelseta, I already told you. From Tuscany, it's Tenuto di Fraternita. Brunello di Montalcino, it's called Di Lamo. Podere Paradisino is for Nobile di Montepulciano. Tenuto Araleto from Piedmont, for example, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, got it. And you already told us sparkling wines, Prosecco is dominating. But what about white wines? I kind of already know the answer probably. Still white wines and red wines. Who are the bigger players in this market? Which regions or styles?
I think it really depends on the weather because, of course, during the summer, people drink more white wine. Of course, there's red wine consumption still exists. We have a lot of meat in our gastronomy. So about styles, of course, it's Pinot Grigio because it's very easygoing, it's very understandable, nice wine to start your introduction to dry wines. Because in our country, dry wines were not so popular, and we also have very strict rule in our shop that we don't have semi-sweet wines, for example, that people got used to drink after post-Soviet mentality where semi-sweet wines were so wide in the market. There were a lot of them. And people, of course, they ask for semi-sweet wines, but they ask not because they don't like dry wines. They ask because they don't know how to find their own style in dry wines. So we start from Pinot Grigio and then we can go to Malvasia, for example, or to Herbaluccio or something more oaked, etc., etc. But start from Pinot Grigio.
And red wine wise?
Among red wine, we have two most popular styles. It's of course Chianti, and the second style it's from Veneta, made by appassimento method, made by soft pressing with soft tannins, with just a little bit of residual sugar. So they are easy drinking. I'm talking about labels like Appassionante, Stranero, Amante from Cadelsette Winery.
All right, got it. Thank you. And right now, let's go back to the consumers. Who are the typical wine consumers in Kyrgyzstan today? Could you share with us maybe the age range and if the younger generation is getting more interested in the wine culture too?
Mostly people who drink wine, they are 35 plus, and it is women who drink mostly wine. Of course, women bring their husbands, for example, and step by step, also men come and discover something interesting for them too. And they also start to quit vodka drinking and start going to a more friendly alcohol. Maybe I can say like this because really with wine, you can enjoy more your evening than with some more aggressive alcohol. So yeah, wine is about aesthetics, of course. It's about taste, and mostly women are into this, but they are showing to their partners, so to men, how it's interesting.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Could you walk us through the wine import and distribution scene? So, we already know about your company, which is, I remind our listeners, that is called Enoteca. Who are the other major wine importers and distributors in Kyrgyzstan? Maybe you can share some of the names.
So in our country, we don't have a lot of wine distributors. We have not more than 10 companies. Main companies, for example, Forester or Legion, they are focused on supermarkets and Horeca. They don't have their own restaurants like we, for example. Legion, it is focused on big brands, for example, Marsh and Dawn. In Forester, they have also Italian brands. And I know also a couple of distributors who are focused mostly in French wines and one very small, only Italian wine distributor.
And what is the name of that small Italian wine distributor?
Actually, I don't remember the name, but I know that owner of this company, his name is Maurizio. He started a business here. Don't remember the name.
Okay, and what are some of the main challenges international producers, including the Italian ones, face when trying to enter the market in Kyrgyzstan?
I think the main challenge is all these stereotypes that wine is not for us, for example. Also, one of the challenges that I can say it can be connected with our government because we have not stable rules and every year everything can change with a snap of a finger. And your partner here in the country should be very flexible to survive in this instability. You should have a very good partner to whom you will trust, who can do this ice breaking with customers to make a really nice promotion because because when you are not so close to your customers, it will be impossible to show that your product is great. Also, the market is not very big. We are small market, but it also can be advantage for now because we are at very first steps. We are just beginning to creating our wine industry here. So I think people and producers who can join the market now, they will have a great job in the future because people now only start to be introduced to wines.
Even though the market is small, because we didn't have the wine culture like European countries. Actually, here there is a potential to create trends, introduce some of the
Yeah,
styles, and make people love them because they didn't develop their taste in wine yet, their preferences.
yeah, it's a great opportunity to teach people how to enjoy your product.
Exactly. Okay, could you briefly walk us through the operational process of importing wines to Kyrgyzstan?
In our company, I mostly do the orders from wineries. I choose the wine what will be great, what will have the great potential in our market. But my sister, he does mostly logistics. I can say that logistics is very difficult. It takes around 2 months to come here, and the most difficult time when it's too cold or it's too hot, and so we are choosing the gaps in time when it's just normal stable weather, or we taking refrigerators to bring wines. About taxes and custom, so you pay 12.5% to each bottle. For the custom clearance or for a custom duty, it takes 12.5%.
Okay, what about the value added tax in Kyrgyzstan nowadays?
It's quite the same, 12%.
Okay. For now, in our country, it's also 12%, but they're increasing it. So from the next year, all the prices gonna go up. Let's now move to some of the gaps, maybe. So we already talked about some popular styles among consumers who are just starting. But what about some of the styles that you are introducing to your consumers? Like, for example, after Pinot Grigio, after Prosecco, after Chianti. You are also teaching at iWine Kyrgyzstan.
Mm-hmm.
So probably there you have like more upgraded consumers. So which styles are getting popular among them besides the ones that you already mentioned?
People are interested in orange wines now. People are interested in Valpolicella also. It's quite also close to our tastes. I thinking about bringing Etna to make more wide our portfolio, to start to introduce people to Etna. I'm thinking about to bring French Quarter. So we have a lot of styles that people still don't know. So we are quite open. For example, now we brought Erbalucci grape variety from Tenuta Roletto. It's very small production of Erbalucci in Italy, but people enjoy. And we also have sparkling wine from Erbalucci. It's very nice. People just react very well.
Okay, so there are lots of gaps to be filled.
Yeah, lots of gaps. People here got used to already to Sangiovese. We have 100 styles of Sangiovese.
Mhm.
People know Sangiovese very well, but yeah, of course, there are a lot of different another great varieties that can be introduced here.
But also, again, you said Sangiovese has so many different styles too. That is why we love Italy. It's so diverse, and even one grape variety can make so many different styles.
Hmm.
Okay, now let's also talk about the price points. Long ago, for example, in our market, it was quite difficult to sell wines with the middle range price points. So people were buying some cheaper wines or very expensive wines. And the middle range wines with good quality price ratio, they were quite hard to sell. Now in Kazakhstan, it's becoming better. But what about Kyrgyzstan?
It's interesting because the average price, for example, in our restaurant, it's about 15-20 euro. So I think it's quite middle. in the range of prices. We don't bring too cheap wines and we don't bring too expensive wines because we think that our market is not fully ready. For example, very nice, great Supper Tuscany that will cost a lot because people here they can buy, try, they will not understand it, they paid a lot, and they will have more negative emotions from this, not positive. Of course, we have a little bit of bottles of Supper Tuscany. We're introducing step by step, but most of the market is not ready. I think now, yep, it's mostly middle priced range around 15-20 euro here. When we are talking about supermarkets, of course, it's not more than 8 euro.
Okay, got it. It's almost time for us to wrap it up. But before doing that, do you have anything else to add?
I was thinking that it's also important to mention that people here takes wines that are more than 50 euro, already premium range. So yeah, around 15-40 euro. It is still affordable. It is still nice to sell wines like this.
Okay, got it. And here I've got a question. So, the same bottle of wine that costs a certain amount in Italy, this same bottle of wine, how much it's gonna cost in Kyrgyzstan? Is it twice more, three times more, or four times more?
It depends on partnership. Our partners from Tuscany, for example, Tenuta de Fraternita, they have own shop, and the wine in their shop costs the same price that the wine costs here in Kyrgyzstan. So yeah, definitely it depends on the partnership, on the perspectives that we can have together, etc.
Mhm. Okay, as I already said, it's almost time for us to wrap it up. But before doing that, I've got some rapid fire questions for you just to finalize the episode. And if you could answer them with a couple of sentences, that would be great. So, what's one key thing Italian wineries should keep in mind when entering the market in Kyrgyzstan?
So key things are that we are very young market. We are not very big. We are small market, but it's very good opportunity to start work with us, to develop the market with us. And you shouldn't be scared of this because it's a work for the future. We are growing, we are developing very slowly, but it also gives its own profit. And of course, as I already mentioned, the main thing is to find good partner. So you should definitely have the partner who will have the passion to your product, and you should have connection between you two, of course.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes, like, even the economic profit is not that important. It's important, it's still business. Like, even wine, it's still business. It's important, of course, but this connection between partners, it gives much more opportunities to develop your brand in the market. Okay, so the second question will be if you could introduce one new wine trend or grape variety to Kyrgyzstan, what would it be and why?
Yes, now I'm thinking about ethno wineries, ethno wines, mostly in Relo Mascalese. I think it is very interesting wine to introduce because of its very special terroir, and also it has great storytelling. So yeah, I'm thinking about ethno wines. We still don't have it.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's beautiful. And I agree with you that you pointed out that it has a great storytelling behind for a good marketing campaign. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. And the third question is going to be not related to wine. If you weren't working in wine, what other profession or industry could you see yourself in?
I think something connected with art because when I started to work with wine, I really believe that the wine production it's a very difficult art and winemaker is the artist. So that's why I like wine so much. you can have this very nice link between wine and art, for example, painting with music. And this strong link also helps us to promote wine, to make nice associations with wine, for example. But yes, of course, while I'm working with wine, I think I could be, for example, painter or musician, because I paint and I play drums. So maybe something like this.
That's nice. Okay, I must say that I'm very, very happy that you could make it to this interview. It was really hard to schedule our conversation. You're just doing so many things at a very young age. I'm really grateful to you that you could find this time to talk with us.
Thank you, but I'm not alone. I have all my family together with me. Like, we were inspired by Italian business families, because it's not common in our mentality to make business together with the family. So I have brother who opened the company, who has this strategy vision. I have my sister who does logistics. I have nephew who work like waiter, niece who paints walls in our restaurants, and of course my mom, she's a counter, so all the money has my mom, not we. So yeah, the most challenging today was to find the quiet place to talk to you. So thanks God we are here, and thank you for this dialogue, for your question.
Thank you. Okay, so on this note, we're going to finish the conversation. Thanks a lot. Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Asia Wine Market Almaty Special Edition. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your pods. And if you are curious to discover more about the Central Asian wine scene, join us at the Vinitaly Kazakhstan Roadshow on July 7th. See you in the next episode. And until then, cheers from Almaty.